everybody. You deserve a reward.
We've had too many rewards already. The Gillises, the Pies, the McPhersons, the Blythes. We have 3 more stops to make.
Where's Anne?
Still getting ready.
She has to look perfect tonight. She's the star of the program.
She's one of the stars. Ruby's reciting too.
And so is Gilbert.
Anne says you're singing a solo, Diana, and that you're real good.
But I'm not nearly as good a singer as Anne is a speaker. When she recites, "Curfew shall not ring tonight," it sends chills up and down my spine.
Well, she's been practicing it all over the house today. Didn't hardly have time to open her presents. Minnie May, did you bring him a gift?
No, I left it out in the sled.
Well, go get it.
Well, we're mighty grateful to Anne. We have her to thank for Minnie May being here with us this Christmas. The doctors say Anne saved your life.
Well, Anne was equally grateful when you came right over here and asked her forgiveness regarding that other matter. I remember how she flew out of the house here when you told her she could play with Diana again.
And they were sitting together the very next day. When Anne came back to school, her hair made her look like a perfect scarecrow.
Well, her hair sure grew back faster than a scarecrow's. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, Anne, your dress. It's beautiful. Matthew gave it to me. It's a perfect Christmas present.
Anne, you've got puffs. This is for you.
Well, thank you, Minnie May.
It's for your hair.
Why, it's lovely. It even matches my dress. How did you know?
Well, Rachel Lynn was involved with the project. Need I say more? Well, let's get going to the concert. We still have 6 more people to pick up. I hope we can fit them all. 2 buggies and a sleigh.
Do you want to ride in my rig again?
No, thank you. I'll go with the berries.
Since Anne is spending the night with Diana, Matthew and I are going our own buggy. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
She looks awful pretty in that dress.
It was a nice present, Matthew, though I'm not sure she needed another dress. But she'll make a good impression when she's reciting tonight.
She speaks her poetry real well.
She's a bright child, Matthew. I'm awful proud of her, though I'm not going to tell her so.
Well, I told her, and I did tell her so. I think she's smart enough to pass them entrance examinations to Queen's Academy when the time comes.
The Berries are keeping Diana here in Avonlea
Queen's gives a mighty fine education.
for a mighty fine price.
I reckon we could afford it somehow.
I'd miss her. Something terrible. If she went away.
Well, we have to do what's right by her.
Well, we don't have to think about it for a while yet.
Time will come soon enough. We've got to keep our minds on it.
They must be stopping at the entrances now.
Guess we better think about going.
Now I know why you've been standing here gabbing so much. You didn't want to have to join in the singing.
Well, now you're right.
I never saw a man so shy. Before Anne came, the only people you were ever comfortable with were me and the sorrel mare.
Well, maybe the old mayor, anyhow.
And they encored you back on? Well, your recitation simply brought the house down. And Gilbert Blythe was splendid, too. He looked at you the whole time he was reciting. I didn't notice. Oh, Anne, isn't it wonderful that we can stay up as long as we like? Curfew shall not ring tonight. Why don't we go into the bedroom and read? It'll be special since we get the spare room tonight. Spare room. Let's race and see if we can get there first, all right? Then we'll put on our nightgowns, read far into the night, This is such fun. On your mark, get set, go. Oh! Merciful goodness. Ooh, what is that? What was that? Oh, Anne. I think it was my Aunt Josephine Barry from Charlottetown. I had no idea she was here. She's old and rich and prim and proper. I'm sure she'll scold us dreadfully.
There you are. You are the worst behaved girl I ever saw. Your parents ought to be ashamed of the way they brought you up.
But Miss Barry,
Who are you? And another thing, I will not be paying for your music lessons as I promised your father.
but Miss Barry.
Who are you? And another thing, I will not be staying the whole 2 weeks as I had planned. I shall return to Charlottetown tomorrow, taking with me any monetary considerations I have in this family.
But Miss Barry.
Who are you? And another thing, who are you?
I'm Anne Shirley. I live at Green Gables. Oh, this was all my fault, Miss Barry, jumping on your bed like that. Diana is a very ladylike girl. You mustn't blame her.
Oh, I mustn't, eh?
No, don't be cross with her. If you must, don't at least let her have her music lessons. You mustn't be cross with anyone. Be cross with me. In my early days as an orphan, many people were cross with me, so I can endure it much better than Diana. And it was only in fun.
Only in fun, you say?
That was all. We had no idea you were in there.
Well, you don't know what it's like to be wakened from sound sleep after a long journey from 2 big girls jumping up and down on you.
But I can imagine, just as I'm sure you can imagine, Miss Barry, how a poor little orphan girl who had never had the honor of sleeping in a spare room might be in such a hurry to get into bed.
Well, I suppose your feelings and sympathies are as strong as mine. You seem like an interesting girl.
You, Miss Barry, might even be a kindred spirit, even if you don't look like one.
Perhaps we can sit down this week, and you can tell me a little something about yourself.
Then you're not leaving in the morning, Aunt Josephine?
No, I'll stay the whole 2 weeks. I want to be here for your first music lesson, so I know that you're getting my money's worth. And maybe this Anne girl will come over and talk to me occasionally.
Of course I will, Miss Barry.
Good night, girls.
Good night, Aunt Josephine. Thank you, Anne. I'll be eternally grateful. Well, it was all my fault. Mrs. Lynn says I'm too impulsive, but an idea just flashes into your mind. You just have to do it. If you stop to think it over, you spoil it all.
Oh, girls, you're still up. I forgot to tell you, Diana, your Aunt Josephine came to visit with her at the concert. Your father gave her the spare room, so you girls are going to have to sleep with Minnie May. I think you should go to bed now. For heaven's sakes, don't wake up Aunt Josephine. She'd never forgive you if you did, and, well, Diana, that might mean the end of your music lessons.
Oh, we wouldn't dream of waking her, Mrs. Barry. We wouldn't dream of it at all.
Why, Matthew and Marilla, what brings you to town Hardison Day?
To see the doctor. I've been getting those headaches again.
Oh dear, what did he say?
Well, he gave me another pair of glasses, but they never seemed to do any good. He also said I need to see the specialist next time he comes to the island. Of course, Matthew's the one that ought to go to the doctor, what with his heart and all, but I can't get him to see him.
Is Anne back for exhibition in Charlottetown?
No, Mr. Barry's driving her back tonight. It was nice of Miss Josephine Barry to let the girls stay with her.
We thought that was old Sourpuss. The shit of the shine to Anne.
Like everybody does.
Matthew, saw your great packed up at the general store, and that Mary looked awfully thirsty to me.
Well, we need to be getting home anyway. Come on now, Marie.
Matthew, why don't you go water the mare? I need just to Marilla about a new recipe you made try. She will right along. Marilla, does Matthew still has money in the Alex bank?
Every penny we got.
The base's a little bit shaky. Mr. Abbott's getting awfully old. His lady nephews run a bake. Suggest you put your money someplace else.
I'll mention it to Matthew. Thank you, Rachel.
Why, the Reverend Mrs. Allen.
Good morning, Mrs.
Lynn, Miss Rachel Lynn.
I'm sorry, I'll have all the names down before long.
I told my husband I'd memorize the congregation's names if he memorized the Sunday sermons.
And quite good ones they are, too. I must Reverend Bentley's sermons, but I had them memorized before you died.
The people you were just talking with, the Cuthberts.
Correct.
They're girls in my Sunday school class. When I asked the pulpits to tell their favorite Bible verse, Anne said hers was, God is in heaven and all is right with the world. I reminded her that the poet Robert Browning wrote that, but we both agreed it probably should be in the Bible. She certainly is a fine, intelligent young lady.
Of course she is. I hasn't raised her myself.
We're very pleased to be here in Avonlea, Mrs. Lynn.
Well, it's a new day in our town with all these comings and goings. We got a new school teacher, a woman of all things. I thought I'd give you one of the votes, but I don't know if we should be giving them more schools. It could be a dangerous innovation. Well, Candace goes to the dogs anyhow, the way things are being run in Ottawa. But nobody asked me, so I keep my thoughts to myself. Good day, Reverend. Mrs. Allen.
Good day, Mrs. Lynn.
To our new teacher.
As do I. Although it was a sad day when Mr. Phillips announced he was leaving.
But not too sad.
We all cried.
Convincingly, I thought.
You know, this gathering has been so divine. There's only one thing I can think of that would make it absolutely perfect.
And what's that, Carrie Sloan?
A small, friendly game of I dare you.
Let's do
Great
it.
idea.
All right. We'll make the dares while we finish our tea. Then we'll go into the garden and do them.
Ruby Gillis, I dare you to climb the village fence at the front door.
But it's full of green caterpillars.
Well, I know, it's why I dared you, silly.
All right, I will.
Jane Andrews, I dare you to hop around the garden on your left leg without stopping.
But I don't have good balance.
Of course, that's why I dared you.
Very well, I will.
Josie Pye, I dare you to walk around the fence that surrounds the garden.
But I've got my slippery shoes on.
I know, that's why I dared you.
Fine, I will. And I dare you, Anne Shirley, to walk the ridgepole on top of the roof.
But high places make Anne dizzy.
Of course, that's why I dared her.
She'll fall off and be killed. Josie, it isn't fair to dare anybody to do something so dangerous.
Anyway, Josie, you've already given one dare. That's all you're allowed.
Don't do it, Anne.
I must do it. My honor is at stake.
No, Anne, it's too dangerous.
Let's go. I'll even do first. I shall walk that ridgepole or perish in the attempt. You've got to see this.
She's going to do it.
Oh, wait, someone help me take these cups back to the kitchen. Mother will kill me if I don't.
She's going to do it.
Look at her climbing that ladder.
She's up on the roof.
She's taking her dare to climb this high.
Oh no, I can hear her up on the roof. Be careful, Anne, the slant on that roof is very steep.
She's on the ridgepole. Good girl, Anne. I knew she could do it. Here comes you, Josie.
Come out and look, Diana.
Come down now, Anne. Don't wait for me to see.
Why is she swaying?
I think she's slipping. Be careful, grab them and pull down.
I don't see a need for me to be here when you come.
It's customary for the whole family to be on hand when company arrives. Button the top button of your shirt.
I think the preacher himself is coming. It's only his wife.
Land sakes, I never saw a man so afraid of women.
Are you afraid? I just need to get the cows fed.
She'll only be here a little while. And anyway, there's something I've got to talk to you about while we're waiting. There's some talk that the Abbott Bank is a little shaky.
That's all it is, talk. Papa kept his money in the Abbott all those years, and it was safe.
Times are changing. I'd feel better if we put what we got over in the savings bank. Just think about it, will you, Matthew? Afternoon, Mrs. Allen.
Hello, and how are the Cuthberts today?
As well as could be expected. Have a seat, Mrs. Allen. And Mrs. Allen's here.
How's she managing these days?
Oh, pretty good, I guess, under the circumstances. Sure perked her up when I told her you were coming. She even baked a cake special for you.
Thoughtful.
Later on, I know she'll want to show you her flower plot out in the garden.
It's a fine girl you both are raising. Did she tell you that we both have the same favorite poet, Robert Browning?
Oh, yes, her and her poetry. It must have been all she read when she was a little girl. Seems some wealthy widow donated a batch of poetry books to that orphan asylum. Must have been the only reading matter they had.
I think Browning very accurately describes Anne in his line. The good stars met in your heart made your spirit fire and dew.
That's our aim.
Hello, Mrs. Allen.
Why, Anne, you're hardly handicapped at all.
Matthew made his pair of crutches for me.
They're quite a work of art.
Well, let's have some cake. I'm sure Matthew's anxious to get back to the piece.
I was feeding the cows.
Anne, I'm honored that you made the cake for my visit. You know, I came especially today since it was the first day of school. I thought you might be a little down in the dumps.
That's very thoughtful of you, Mrs. Allen. But I won't miss too much school. My split will come off in 2 weeks, and Miss Stacy, she's our new teacher, said she would try to get my books to me before then. Is something wrong?
Mrs. Allen, don't eat any more. Not even to be nice. Anne Shirley, what on earth did you put in this cake?
Nothing but the recipe. What's wrong?
Taste it yourself. It's horrible. What flavoring did you use?
Vanilla. Just vanilla. There's a bottle there in the cupboard.
Ugh. Mercy on us. And you flavor that cake with anodyne liniment.
Liniment?
I broke the liniment bottle last week and poured what was left in this old vanilla bottle. I suppose it's partly my fault for not telling you, but couldn't you smell the liniment?
No, I couldn't. I'm still getting over my summer cold. Oh, Mrs. Allen, can you ever forgive me?
There's nothing to forgive, my dear. I appreciate your thoughtfulness, even if the cake had turned out right. Now you mustn't feel bad.
Well, this certainly is a new one for me, Mrs. Allen. I do make an awful lot of mistakes, but there's one encouraging thing. I never make the same mistake twice.
I don't see that much benefit when you're always making new ones.
Don't you see, Marilla? There must be a limit to the number of mistakes one person can make. And when I get to the end of them, I'll be through with making mistakes forever.
I guess I can feed what's left of this cake to the pigs. And Matthew can get back to the cows.
And I'm very eager to see your flower plot. Why don't you show it to me?
Of course, Mrs. Allen. I love fall flowers the best. I think they're the most colorful, beautiful.
They'll reply.
Hello, Miss Allen. Anne?
And I'll go on ahead. You can join me later.
Don't go, Mrs. Allen. What are you doing here?
Mrs. Stacy said I could bring your books to you.
Why did you want to do that?
I don't know. Maybe it's because I don't want you to have an excuse when I scored higher than you on the Queen's entrance examinations.
Perhaps you'll be the one looking for an excuse.
We'll see. Well, goodbye.
Gilbert,
Yes?
thank you. Again.
Again?
I was remembering the incident on the river last summer.
Oh, when you and the girls were acting out that Tennyson poem and your flatboat started to sink. Well, I couldn't let you drown, could I? I'm just glad it happened long when I did.
So am I.
Anne? Has it ever occurred to you that we might possibly be friends?
It has. Somewhat.
Anne, I'm sorry I made fun of your hair that one time. Besides, that was such a long time ago. I think your hair is awful pretty now. Honest.
Carrots! You call me carrots! I can never be friends with you, Gilbert Blythe. Never.
Fine. Then I'll never ask you to be friends with me again. Goodbye.
Why did you really bring those books over? Was it truly so that I wouldn't have an excuse? He wouldn't have an excuse if he beats me on those Queen's exams? Probably so. Well, I'll beat you, Gilbert Blythe. And when we're in school together at Queen's, I'll study day and night to keep you from winning that gold medal.